When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or skins, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skins uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Bleav.
Doesn't matter if you're an Indian or if you're a Warhawk.
The ULM mention is the greatest. You'd hope for the best as a ULM fan, but
this is the Bleav in the Warhawks podcast with hosts Dusty Thibodeaux and Chase Regian.
Chase, you always have such great insight.
Gibbs is going to bleep it all.
What are these guys always talking about?
We talk a lot about food on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do so.
Really, really appreciative of the people and the community and the way that they've backed us up.
Nailed the introduction, by the way. Awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Fish.
it.
Chase, 15 years, and it's finally over.
And the first Rice Bowl.
Well, yeah. So I just want you to know that when President Kerry Castile, head coach Bryant, Vincent were out there at the 35 taking pictures with it, there's a nice little pile of rice. So if any fan would like to risk it for the biscuit and jump into Malone Stadium, there's a collector's edition out there.
Yeah, it was cool. She was really excited about that bowl of rice, which, by the way, was way better imagined than you and I ever came up with.
We definitely had some lower expectations, or maybe higher. I don't know which way necessarily. But the Warhawks still get it done, 28-16 over Arkansas State. It was emotional.
It's a roller coaster.
It was a true roller coaster game, and quite honestly, I know Coach Vincent said, "Hey, we went down 10-0. Nobody blinked. Nobody panicked." No, I
not nobody.
I panicked.
I was panicking. Yeah.
Especially when you lose the coin toss, you get the ball first. Okay, great. Because even like when we talked to Kara Ritchie, that Arkansas State struggles when the other team comes out of the gate fast. So you're like, okay, we're going to come out of the gate fast.
Yeah.
But then we have a holding penalty in the gates a long run.
Right.
And then we throw a pick six the very next play to go down 7-0.
Yeah, I was pressing panic button for sure.
It was broken.
Yeah. Plus, I'd heard the stat, Tibbs, that Butch Jones had only lost 2 games since leading after the first quarter. And he'd only lost 2 games and only won 1 after, leading up the first quarter. So I was pretty terrified. The statistics were not on our side.
Not in the least bit. But when are they ever?
We were favored today.
Yeah, that's true.
And beat that spread up, boy. Don't worry.
Did we hit the over?
I
think it was 43. So no,
we didn't.
We were just under.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about player props? They had to be miserable for Arkansas State.
I was impressed, though, as rightfully so, and to give him props, first of all, Corey Rucker for Arkansas State. Mm. There's something about ULM and Corey Rucker that he just lights it up. Did it once again, targeted 13 times, 9 receptions, 120 yards, 49 yards after contact or after the catch, with a long of 30. He was lighting it up. And that really scared me, especially after last week's game against UTEP, thinking that the secondary was very sus and was not going to be able to contain an elite receiver like that.
Well, I mean, they fed him, and they were you could tell that the way they were putting him in motion, the way they were motioning him to be ISO on the left side, usually to the field, that he was the point of today. Was they really wanted to get him going, and then I was talking with a lot of them down there, and they had all said Corey really needs to get going. He's supposed to be our number one receiver this year. But I got to tell you, Tibbs, I think Cobb for them looked like a much better athlete. I think Corey looks like a true receiver in the fact, but Cobb, man, I was really impressed with him, and I felt bad for Rayner. I mean, at some point, I just started really feeling bad for the kid.
Yeah, you'll hear here in a little bit in the post-game interview where Bryant Vincent talked about their game plan around him was really to kind of contain him because a lot of his long runs were in the AB gap, so right there along the center at the guard position. So they wanted to try to contain him as much as possible, try to keep him back in that backfield as long as they possibly could.
He didn't have much time. I mean, we had 6 sacks on him, and they were all seemed to be there, in really pivotal moments. I thought Rayner really, he had some bad throws behind people, but really for the most part, he is a really good quarterback. And ULM kept a spy on him all game. You saw it there on that last 4th and 4 where they kept him. They had a spy on him, but also they were playing zone coverage, and we saw more zone coverage. We still saw a lot of man coverage this game from ULM, but it was really great to see them mix in that zone coverage and kind of give some of these guys a chance.
I think as big as the breaking the streak of 15 years, we're 1-0 in conference play, Chase.
It's huge.
And that one-game swing of being 1-0 versus Arkansas State now being 0-1, I mean, it's an uphill battle from there. Whereas now you're kind of, I won't say king of the mountain because you're just 1-0, but you're at least on the upswing of that mountain.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta win the first one, and Arkansas State didn't look like a great team coming into this game. I didn't feel like they looked like a great team coming into this game, besides having a stud at quarterback. But as you look forward, these are games. The way this game kind of came down to before we scored that last touchdown, these were games where you kind of were like, man, they're going to do it again to us. But it doesn't feel that way. I mean, we've got I'm not hesitant to say this, Tibbs. We've got a dominant defense who played 60 minutes the whole game. They never let anything back. They were rushing really well. I mean, it shows you 17 yards rushing from Arkansas State. That's an insane stat. And really, really, really love the way this team's heading. And I felt like Aidan Armenta took a small step today.
Yeah, I definitely think he did. I think that there's still some more that needs to happen. He doesn't look comfortable still trying to drop back into that passing offense. And I think until he kind of gets comfortable, and I don't know when that'll be. I mean, we're already, 4 games into the season, 5 weeks in the season with the bye week, and we're still having a conversation of, well, he doesn't necessarily still feel comfortable.
Yeah, I don't think it was. There were times today where he looked comfortable. He looked elite. Oh, I'm sorry. He looked comfortable. He looked like he was in charge. And, if you look at the stats, Tibbs, it looked like a balanced offense. But I don't know about you, but when I was watching, it did not feel that way. It felt like we either passed the ball or ran the ball. There was no, in between of run, pass. There was no rhythm to this offense. I love that we're getting out on the edge more. That little toss play to Bibbs, you could tell BV loves that because now he's running the crap out of it.
It works, though. I mean, if it works, why are we looking to change it up?
But I wish he'd do it in a 3rd and 2. I wish he'd mix it up a little bit. And Tibbs, I don't know about you, man. I got so frustrated. Actually, you were down there. You saw me. I got so frustrated. Those operational timeouts are things that will lose you ball games if they continue to be this close.
Yeah, I think the final timeout that ULM took was with around 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. The fact that late in the game you're down to only 1 timeout and you have to take it when you're kind of in the red zone. You're looking to go for a score, but you just can't get it together to go out there. You also look at the fact that ULM overall, 9 penalties for 67 yards.
Oh, that was rough.
And they always seem to be timely. But I will put an asterisk on that there, Chase. A couple of the pass interferences, I'm okay with those.
Yeah.
Because
agreed.
There was one where Rucker, as you talked about, was kind of going over the middle in motion, and he had the guy burnt by about 2-3 steps. If he catches that ball, he's gone.
Yeah.
And instead of getting roasted, the guy just grabs his jersey, holds him back enough to where it's an incomplete pass, but it's still a PI. frustrating that I think it happened on a third down, but it still was good enough to prevent that big play from happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a drastic difference. I mean, we had 9 penalties, they had 2, and there were some early that I felt like could have gone ULM's way. And the pulling the rough and the passer off in the first quarter, that was mind-boggling to me. But you've got to clean that up. I mean, there were 2 times where it either in one drive you gave them 3 first downs, and then we had a 2nd and 3, and I think this was either early in the fourth quarter or late in the third, and you kind of give up that you kind of stall a drive out because you go from 2nd and 3 to 2nd and 8, and that sucks, dude. And then you're a different whole part of your playbook. So I really didn't like the operational times. I really didn't like the penalties, but those are fixable things. I think that's what's exciting. Like, that's not the bad part about all this. That sucks, sure. But you ran the ball well today. You had some big plays. You didn't stall out once you got kicked in the teeth a little bit, and I think you got to be really encouraged about that.
Attendance 21,147. It was a good atmosphere for homecoming. I think that there were still a lot of people out in the Grove partying it up. Maybe that's that generational mindset change that needs to happen, because a lot of times, people would come to games and they would never come in. It was just, we're going to go to the ULM game, but that meant that you were staying out in the Grove.
The Grove was awesome today.
It was rocking.
It was popping. And at kickoff, Tibbs, I was looking around like, oh, man, this is rough. And then you got about a minute or two the first quarter. It looked pretty good. And then some people left after halftime. But, I mean, for the most part, student section stayed strong. These upper stands looked a little rough. But then down lower, especially in the middle, I would really love the crowd. You win in front of a big crowd like that, they're likely to come back.
3-1 overall, Chase. Is this where we expected to be? Or do you feel that we're maybe ahead of the game? Or are we behind that we should be a 4-0 team?
For as much freaking out as I've done on this podcast, I think we're where we should be. I think we're this caliber of team. I think we're an upper tier group of 5 team with an elite defense with a smart game plan. I think that as I was calling the game today, I looked down and I was like, man, I don't know why we're running certain plays, but I was proven wrong when a lot of those plays started opening up. So I think we're a good football team. I think we've still got some ways to go on offense, and we've got an elite defense.
Yeah, I mean, we're never going to be that perfect team. And if so, I'm almost more weary of that than being a god-awful team, quite honestly. But I feel like we're right where we should be. We knew that the Bama game was going to be rough. We showed that after the bye week, we were able to bounce back against UTEP. Every game we've looked better. Every game the only consistency I'll say that we've had week to week is these clock management game operations. And I don't know how you wind up addressing that and trying to correct that. I think it's because it's so situational. I think it's just a tough call to try to figure out how exactly you fix that. But overall, I mean, you can't be happier than where we're sitting right now, 3-1, halfway to bowl eligibility, 1-0 in the conference. You step out next week for another non-conference game at Northwestern, maybe a winnable game.
Absolutely a winnable game.
With all that, Chase, we'll hear from the head man himself along with QB Aidan Armenta.
I want to start off by just saying how proud I am of our coaching staff and our players. The focus, just the preparation, it was tremendous. And I thought our coaching staff did a tremendous job. I thought our players really owned their preparation going into this game. And told them today, this is why we came here. We came here to make history. We came here to change this program. And today was a big step in that direction. 15 straight years is a long time. That streak is over. I felt like last year, 21-21, we watched that game a lot. Our first year here at their place, 21-21, I felt like we let them off the hook last year. And that was on me. And this year, we wanted to make sure we didn't let them off, and we didn't. But you sit back and you look at the time of possession, yards, we gave up 17 yards rushing. It's pretty incredible. We rushed for 217. We won the time of possession, 7 for 14 on third downs offensively. That's pretty incredible. We tell them all the time, 45% is championship. 40's winning, 45 and 50 is championship. Got down 10-0. We didn't blink. There was no panic. There was no nothing. They came out and played a different defense than we'd seen the first 4 games, and kudos to them. They had a great plan. We made adjustments, and you see the rest. 3 for 3 in the red zone. Defense, we gave up 4 out of 15 third downs. It's incredible. 2 out of 4. So I just can't say how proud I am for this town, for our former players, for our university, for our president, for our fans. And what a major step in rebuilding this program and getting it to where it belongs. Questions?
When you got in victory formation that last play, and you took a breath and you realized after 15 years, you guys finally got this monkey off your back. I mean, can you just put it into words, like the moment, the way you felt and the pride that you felt?
I just felt so I guess the word to say is I felt happy for this town. From the moment I got here, and I had no idea as the coach, it's 14 years, and we fought to change it last year, and we were right there. I didn't do a good enough job having our team prepared. And then to come back at home and to end it on our terms with the ball in our hand and to play a complete game in all 3 phases, we've still got a lot of things to clean up. I was happy for our people, man. I was happy for our former players and alumni that this means so much to, and to be able to give them that win and to end that streak is something I'll never forget.
Aidan, as a player, I mean, for you, I know we were here last year when they came back and won that game against you guys. Just tell me, for you being a part of this win and celebrate with your guys post-game, how much did this mean to you?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, there's been a lot of sleepless nights. I mean, since that last game last year, just knowing we were so close and probably should have won that game in year 1. But I think it's just a big tell of the hard work that we put in. This isn't just a 1-week preparation. This has been a 12-month preparation getting to this point. So just really proud of the way the guys hung in there. And like you said, we were down 10-0, and the guys didn't blink. So it just tells a lot about our culture and the guys we have on our team.
Coach, this front seven did not make it easy on the quarterback. What do you think about the performance they had on the opponent, just collapsing the pocket?
I mean, and that was the game plan. We wanted to keep their quarterback in the pocket. He was making all of his big runs inside the A and B gaps. So we wanted to contain him and not pass him up so we could contain him in the pocket. And I thought we did a great job of really just collapsing the pocket. I don't know how many sacks we had. I think we had several. 6 sacks. I could say that defensively we harassed him pretty good, and we chased him a lot. So just super proud of our defensive staff and our defensive players. I mean, they were just relentless the entire game. And we said that we had to win it in the 4th. Last year we lost it in the 4th, and we had to win it in the 4th. And I'm sitting here looking in the 4th quarter. You know, we outscored them in the 4th. So that was the goal and that was the plan. And what a great day. What a great moment for ULM. And just, hey, super proud and want to enjoy this. This is something we worked on this entire offseason. This is something we talked about. Something our players bought in, and they own this mission. Streak over.
Aidan, what do you think was the difference in that second quarter? You guys go down 10-0. The offense didn't really seem to have a rhythm in that first quarter, but then you guys come up and score 10 points in the second. What do you think changed?
I think it's just battling adversity. I think it goes back to even the Alabama game. You can kind of look to just not being able to battle adversity in that game and how hard we worked in the past 3 weeks to get to those points. And even if stuff does go wrong, we have the leadership on this team to kind of combat that. So, like I said, just really proud of the leadership we have on this team and just really proud of the guys.
Coach, that secondary was maybe a little sus last week at UTEP. What kind of adjustments did you make this week to kind of know that you were going to have to go against one of the best receivers there, Corey Rucker?
We just, each week is a different game plan come what you're seeing. Last week you see the empty at UTEP and all the RPOs and the quick game and all the perimeter stuff and totally different deal. And then this game you've got elite receivers. You've got a 3-year starting quarterback and you've got a really good offensive line and tight ends with Fortenberry and 17. I mean, this was a good team. Arkansas State's got a good team. And the thing that I saw was our preparation just changed. I felt like kids got comfortable. When we've moved Cam Canterbury, and we've moved Chris Robinson, and we've moved Leonard Harris, and we've moved Stephen Sawan to that boundary safety and star, trying to find the right mix and match. And I think we found the right mix and match now. And sometimes it takes time. I wish we could be elite game one in everything, but you got to grow and you got to learn and you got to be able to sit there and look in the mirror. And I'll give you an example. Last week at UTEP, we had the ball twice with the chance to end it. And we talked about that all week, and we focused on it. And we had the opportunity today, and we ended the game with the ball in our hands. Again, that's growth. We just got to continue to grow, continue to climb, and taking it one day at a time, and be hard on ourselves and really demand. We're picked last in the conference, 14 out of the conference. We're picked last in the West. See where we're at the end.
In that second half, Arkansas State had 2 long sustained drives, but you guys held them to field goals on both of those drives. Just how big was that for you guys?
It's huge, and something we say all the time, they're never in until they're in. Next snap mentality. And that's something that we have said from day one. They're never in until they're in. Next snap, next snap, next snap. And our defense they bent at times, but they bowed their neck. They bowed up in the time of moment, and that comes down to toughness. Because you got to have all 11 guys, as they continue to pass, they ain't in, and then we get a stop. And a field goal in the red zone's a win. Because then we come in there and we're 3 for 3 with 3 touchdowns. There's the difference. So our philosophy is, hey, if they get in the red zone, we'll give up a field goal. We just don't want to give up a touchdown. And then it's up to us to score touchdowns in the red zone, and that's complementary football. I thought after the first quarter, you saw complementary football where we're grinding on them. We had the ball for over 17 minutes in the first half, and our goal was to wear them down. And then you go to the fourth where we're playing really coverage because we know they're running out of time, and we keep things in front. So they were able to get the time of possession back. But overall, that was a great game of complementary football where all 3 phases are working together.
You challenged the South End Zone squad in the student section. Get here early, provide controlled chaos, is what you said this week. How would you rate their performance?
I would give them an A+. Our South End Zone squad was packed. They were rowdy. Our student section was rowdy the entire game. And I thought our crowd was great. They were into it. And I think this is just an example of who we can be. Who can we be when we're all in it together? And we're positive and we fight for each other. We fight for ULM in all sports, in every way. And times are changing. Change is here. And I don't know about you, but it feels pretty good. We still got a long way to go, but we're going to enjoy this moment. This is a moment that 15 teams have been waiting on.
Coach, you have a Conference USA championship, a bowl championship trophy. What do you do now with the Rice Bowl championship trophy?
What we need to do, and I told people this last year, I said, we've got to build a trophy case. And people looked at me like I was crazy. I said, guys, we better build a trophy case because we're going to put some trophies in there. Now we'll put our first one, the Rice Bowl. First ever Rice Bowl champions. Look, we'll take every one we can. We're going to build this program one day at a time. We'll make sure we get a really nice trophy case to be prepared because we're not done.
Aidan, for you as a player, to feel that home support from the student section from the South End Zone squad, just how much does that fuel you guys in a game like this?
Yeah, it's everything. I think just keeping the energy of the guys, all 4 quarters, just keeping them going, and then just knowing you have the community support because ultimately that's what we do it for. I think just trying to bring the pride and legacy back to this community is the biggest thing. So I think just with them out in the game, it just means that they care, and just we're going to keep fighting for them every single week.
Anything else?
How about them Warhawks?
He told him, Chase, you got to build a trophy case because I'm going to put some trophies in that case.
Come on. Hey, that's a quote, man.
Yeah. I think, because I asked, like we just heard, what are we going to do with the Rice Bowl trophy? And, it's going in a case. That Rice, much like, you remember the great game ball from the Cubs game that was the Steve Bartman ball.
I don't know who that is.
Just play along.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I love that game.
No, you don't, because you're a Cubs fan. It hurt.
Oh.
So they took the ball, they blew it up, and cooked it into a spaghetti to try to reverse the curse. I say that Rice Bowl, that rice, that's maybe a pregame meal that we have, like for the Sun Belt Championship game, the bowl game. somewhere down the road. Maybe that's what we do ahead of the Lafayette game.
You know, people had those hands, their hands in that bowl today.
It'll be boiled in some water. It'll be fine.
No, I was hating on the Rice Bowl, but I was proven wrong. It's a cool trophy, and I'm glad we got the first one of it. But that's a pretty cool quote, Coach, to say that. Make some room, dude. Do we have a trophy case here?
We did. I think in all the renovations, it kind of went away because, we had to build from the ground up.
Yeah.
And so there hasn't really been a need for one. But maybe there will be now.
That'd be cool if there was.
Last bit. What do you have, Chase?
I have an apology to make.
I love apologies.
I have an apology to make to you.
Okay.
I have an apology to make to A-State.
Yep.
That kicker is crazy good. That 51-yarder he hit was good from 60.
Chase, are you saying special teams matter?
Van Andel he might be the only weapon on that team, but he is a weapon, dude. He was so good.
It's crazy to me that that's a guy that has NFL talent.
Absolutely.
And that very well could be the second kicker from Arkansas State to get a shot in the league.
Isn't that wild? And, why does Sunbelt have good kickers?
And then it's crazy to me that Kenny, the kicker from Lafayette last year, wins the Lou Groza Award, doesn't even get a sniff for the pros.
I know some teams could use him right now.
Yeah, definitely. Probably ones wearing black and gold. They train in Metairie.
Right down the road from him, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But Chase, I'm glad to see you're coming around, that you are, understanding maybe what baseball is or could be. You're understanding that special teams are truly special.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, we'll work on it again next episode.
See you, Tibbs.